never heard of. Hey everybody, welcome to the Common Folk Podcast with Ben, Morgan, and Andy.
Welcome back to Common Folk.
Hey, good morning. It's a morning.
It is a morning. We're shifting gears here.
Yeah, Andy's drinking coffee out of that damn Yeti again.
Mm-hmm. But it's a big frig.
Yeah,
Big
come on,
frig,
get it
sorry.
right.
And it's custom. Look at that.
Well, I say
Yeah,
that
yeah.
because remember we talked about if you drink out of those, then it's kind of stained, I can see. But you'll put water in it later.
Yeah.
And then alcohol tonight in the same one.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Just keep it rotating.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you start with coffee and then you transition into like those hard teas.
oh, the twisted teas.
Yeah, twisted teas.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Do you actually ever drink water during the day? Because this guy over here doesn't really drink much water.
I drink it at night.
I
not
know.
during the
It's
day.
like
Yeah.
I drink 2 or 3 of these big guys a day.
Wow. Ashley does that.
So is that a guy thing that you
I
guys
don't
just
know.
don't drink?
Yeah. I mean,
Do you want flavor or what?
I feel like the water thing's overrated. Like there's
I mean, hello, there's science behind it. Water.
there's science behind a lot of things.
Okay,
The science.
let's hear it. What do you? Gonna
I'm
say?
just saying, like I see these people carrying around like milk jugs
No, that's
of
dumb.
water.
That's too much.
What's the difference?
Okay?
They're pounding it. That's the whole point. They're
No.
pounding it. But all that ends up happening is you just pee all the time.
yeah.
You're hydrated.
Then you're flushing vital nutrients, vitamins, out with the waste.
See,
Oh,
it's more
no.
detrimental.
I
Yeah.
need stuff in me.
I mean, well, then eat another apple. There's a lot of water in apples, so
Yeah.
that's what. Yeah, I just eat more.
Oh, right.
Get
Because
my
your
water.
size is totally telling. Not.
My point being is there is a lot of water in the foods that we eat. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you guys are all just justifying your
That's
BS.
That's
Right.
science.
yeah,
It's science.
Oh, God.
it's science. I follow the science.
I figured.
I drink a couple cups of water a night. Usually.
I know. I just don't understand why you wouldn't do it during the day.
Well, and there's also a lot of water in beer. Like it's the number one thing in beer. It
really is.
water. So
Yeah.
figure if I have 6 beers, I'm getting
You're
5 and a
getting
half
2
waters.
glasses
Especially-
of water.
Especially when it's Coors Light, it comes from the Rockies, so it's like all natural.
Cleanest
Oh,
water on the planet.
Duh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
go.
It would-
Yeah.
What are you drinking over there?
You
As
want me
we're
to go get you a
talking
beer?
about-
You want me to go get you a beer, Morgan?
No, it's too early. It's too early. I can't do that.
Whatever.
Yeah, well. What are we talking about today, guys? I was going to call you kids. You guys are acting like kids.
We're talking about you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, your big trip. We were alluding to it in past episodes and kind of building up to it. And then talking with Kim with the Nebraska Brewing Company,
Uh-huh.
she went on a hike of her own.
Yeah.
So that was interesting how you were asking her questions like, well, I got this one coming up,
Right.
and I think we've already said Morgan's going to be our representative next year in the 50 Mile March.
Yep.
Speaking of that,
So-
this past Sunday, we went to their reveal of like how much money they got.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah. So we went and it was at the Offutt, what's it called? Stratcom? No.
Yeah, the SAC
Museum.
Okay.
So
yeah.
they had that. I had applied for this next year
Mm-hmm.
to walk. It will be 2024 in August. So, guys, we found out there's like 191 people that have applied, and they're only taking 100. So, okay, so this is not a shoe-in.
No.
So we'll just see. So we'll have to keep the audience updated.
So you guys were out there by Ashland, Nebraska, the Space and Air Museum.
That's
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Very
cool.
cool.
I've never
Yeah.
been there before.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I actually I bought my father a brick. Out front there, they have a memorial for servicemen.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
And he did a term in the Air Force, and I just thought it was really
Oh,
kind of
that
a
is cool.
Cool little memorial for him.
I didn't see that.
We surprised him on used to do a golf trip every summer, just the boys and us.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a really nice golf course nearby. And we took him to that and showed him. He's like, "What are we doing here? What do you want to?" And so it was kind of cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I like that.
So,
You
yeah.
had never been there either, right?
No, I haven't. Surprisingly, I mean it's been there for a while now. So
Yeah.
like how long ago would have that been
Oh,
when you bought
man.
that brick?
9,
Yeah,
maybe even 10 years ago now.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's that's the first time I've been in there, and the place is really neat. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of strange when you walk in there that like something that crazy
Yeah.
is right here.
Just right there, right off
Yeah.
the interstate. Yeah.
And for anybody who is from around here, you'll remember the original Sac Museum in Bellevue. Did you ever go to that?
Mm-mm.
When I was a kid going to school in Bellevue, obviously you were northeast Nebraska, but we had field trips there all the time, and sometimes we just go there randomly. But it was just down off at Air Force
Yeah.
Base. All the
Okay.
planes, everything was pretty much outdoor. All
Right.
the planes were out on I don't know, some taxiing runway somewhere.
Yeah.
And there was a little indoor place, but there wasn't much to that. But that was always really cool.
Yeah.
And then they built this crazy facility and
Yeah.
brought everything indoors.
Oh, it's awesome. When I walk through that, I think to myself, this is all the stuff that we just hung up and put out there to it's it's retired.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think, well, what's in the real hangars now?
Yeah.
Because this is like the old retired hangar.
Yeah.
I feel like it's intimidating.
We were walking out, and I didn't know. You said something about they retired that one big.
Well, when you
was
walk in the
there.
front door,
Oh, front door.
the main thing, the first thing you see is the SR-71.
Okay, yeah.
Which is the that iconic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the fastest thing ever, and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And they did have one when it was down in Bellevue, if I remember correctly. And it was everything was painted black. Like it was kind of early on then. You
Yeah.
couldn't see through the windows, and it was all top secret and all this
Oh.
stuff.
Yeah.
But that plane, I don't think they really use that plane anymore.
No. There's been a number of stealth that
Yeah.
have been up since
Yeah.
then that are
Yeah.
faster, less, don't get picked up by radar and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool though, just right
Yeah.
there in real life.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so you guys have started the process.
So we got an invite. I got an invite just because I applied. So you can go kind of see what happened last year. So they played video, they had speakers, whatever. And then that's when we kind of found out they still have, open applications for this 50-mile walk.
All right.
And then we talked to her a little bit more, and she said that there'll be some Zoom meetings, and then you have to do like a 10-mile hike with them.
Ooh.
Like you have to kind of trial
It's like a
it.
qualifier.
Yeah. So I think I'm probably good.
Yeah.
But I better stay fit.
So folks who don't know, if you hadn't listened, it was like what our last episode or a couple episodes ago. We were speaking with Kim from Nebraska Brewing, who is on the board of the 50-mile march, and so Morgan was interested in that. So that's what that's all about.
And all the money
Lincoln to
I like.
Omaha.
I mean, it's all going to veterans in this community that they're trying to build. So
Yep.
it's
so
a really cool cause.
in relation to that, what we wanted to talk about today was what you had recently done. It's called the Rim to Rim. Is that right?
Yeah, which is funny because I listened to your last podcast that I missed, and you were like, "Yeah, she's going on a walk in the Grand Canyon.
Isn't that what you did?
Yeah.
It's like actually a hike."
Oh.
I don't really know what the difference
Actually,
is.
you didn't even
but-
say Grand
yeah.
Canyon. He goes, "She's going on a walk, and it's like a rim to rim." And I was like,
I said
"Oh
it.
my gosh!"
Well, what's the difference between a walk and a hike? You hold a stick and you got.
I mean, I feel like
fancy shoes.
hiking is kind of got to be a little bit more treacherous than
Right.
a walk. Like
I'm
a
just
walk
kidding.
is like a stroll.
I'm just giving.
So
you a
I
hard
was
time.
I was laughing when you
Yeah.
said that. I was like, yeah, that's pretty typical. Like he actually knows, but he's just saying like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she's just strolling around.
So I'm sure a lot of people have heard of this. What is it exactly? Because I don't know what it is. Rim to rim hike.
So it is starting on the north rim and then you finish on the south. I mean, you can do it the other way
Of the Grand Canyon?
of the Grand Canyon. So you're actually, so it's comes out to be 23.5 miles. So a lot of times people, what we have found out, do this over like a couple days. And then you have crazy extreme runners that do rim to rim to rim.
Oh,
like
wow.
all in one day.
Oh, wow.
So you have like a gamut of like you can. It's
So
not.
they
It's
run,
not guided.
They run 46 miles up and down the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. In one
Jeez.
day.
That sounds crazy.
I mean,
to
that's
me.
like, and we pass some of these people, when we're
Yeah.
walking. But really, there is a campsite that there's like a year waiting list, supposedly.
Oh, wow.
Down in the middle of it. And people will hike down there, stay, and then, finish the next day. But my dad, who is 72, I always like to say that because, 72 is getting up there.
Yeah,
And we're not
yeah.
talking about 90s, but a lot of 72-year-olds are not hiking a Grand Canyon, wanted to do this. And so he asked us in May.
So I guess my first question is why? Why did he want to do this? And it sounded like he's been wanting to do it for a while.
Yeah, he went with some of his buddies a few years ago. I don't even know how many years ago. And they heard about it and he started, doing it. And one of his buddies couldn't like actually finish. So you can go on the north side or you could go on the south side and go down. There's different spots. You can go down like 4 miles and there's a little spot and then you could go back up. Well, his buddy wasn't doing so well. They wanted to go further and he couldn't. So my dad went
so they
out with
walked
his
back.
buddy. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just kind of something that he's pretty competitive and very fit,
Yeah.
I would say. Well, and in a sense, I mean, it maybe not as fit as like he lost 30 pounds training to do this. So, I mean, he's in shape, but he wanted to get more in shape.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what sparked his interest to do this? I mean, you mentioned his buddy. Was it his friend that introduced him to this whole thing?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that'd be cool. Let me just take it to the next
I
level.
think it's just a thing that they have a house in Arizona. So it's just something people talk about doing. And it's something he always wanted to do, he said. And he wanted to do it with us. So me and my sisters, 2 sisters. So it was us 3 and my dad. And then my dad's buddy did it 22 years before that. And then I think another time before that. So he wanted to do it one last time is what he said.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So 5 of you,
went out packing.
couple old guys,
So 3 young
3
chops.
middle-aged women.
Yeah. Okay, middle age. That sounds more like it. I want to say young chops.
Yeah.
We're not so young.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, age range, 43 to 38, me and my sisters, and then I think 72 and then 74. So it was definitely something that I figured out probably anybody that is in somewhat decent shape could do this. It is going to test you though. I
Yep.
mean, it's super duper hard.
Yeah, I was going to say the elevation, you're going down,
Yes.
up, and then up again.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we started at like, God, what is my pay? I think it was like 8,600. And then you go down to close to 2. And then you go back up and end at like 7 or something. So, I mean, think about that with breathing, walking. So when I say that, I feel like I've told people that, like, I think anybody kind of in shape can do it. But, I mean, I don't know. When I say I'm going to do something, I kind of like take it not to the extreme. I'm not extreme. Am I extreme?
Not most of the time.
Okay, so is that a loaded question?
That was something. You did a good job with that, Ben. That was really good.
Okay, so maybe when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it well.
There you go.
I have sisters. They both condition different. My older sister has 5 children, works a full-time job, just couldn't get out as much as she wanted, was not as in shape as she wanted to be. My younger sister, she lost like 20 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Worked out at Orange Theory, met us for a couple weekends here and there to do long walks. I just walked and ran a ton and was at the gym, lifting and doing all the things. So I think, everyone knows I was in the best shape out of everyone.
So was your sister with the 5 kids and the busy schedule, was she kind of lagging behind?
Yeah.
Was she really?
I mean, I think we all took a little bit of turns here and there, not lagging behind, but I would say she probably didn't fare the best. Like she had blisters, her feet were hurting.
Yeah.
Just the things that you probably, when you get conditioned.
Yeah, that was one thing that Kim said about the march. Take care of your feet. Get specialized shoes that fit. You know? Like I would never think of doing something like that.
Yeah, and I think we all did that. I mean, we all got, the backpacks and got fitted for shoes and, all the things. But, I mean, you got to use them. I felt like a decent amount beforehand. Like I lost a toenail, like my big toenail in training. I mean, there's things that are going to happen. I had a couple blisters early on. So I think if I didn't keep conditioning your body to know what's coming, then of course you're going to get that. We all finished. We had a great time. It was freaking beautiful.
Is that just a one day start at 7 a.m., end at like 9 p.m. type of deal, or how does that work?
Yeah. So we started at 5 a.m. And really wanted to get it done in 12 hours. I mean, it should be super doable. We had a couple hiccups with some people not eating enough food and really just kind of hitting a wall, and it just did not fare well for them. So we really had to take a good hiatus and break. So we started with headlights on and we ended with headlights on.
Oh, wow.
So it took us like 13 and a half hours. So longer than we expected. So in my head and my dad's competitive head, we're like, ooh, we should try this again.
So back to your father wanting to put this whole thing together. Was he just always an outdoorsman and he just really loves that terrain and that just kind of brings a lot of things together? And then you throw in that not only had he been wanting to do it with his buddies, now he saw an opportunity to do it with all of his girls. Like I'm still like, because I ran track in high school and I was decent at it, but I hated it. I hate that stuff.
Really?
So I can't. It'd be tough for me to be like, hey, why don't you just drain everything and go sweat your ass off and feel miserable for a few days.
Right.
And then feel miserable training leading up to it. Like,
when you put it like that, that is a little bit crazy.
It's a tough pitch for me.
Yeah. It reminds me of when Christina Elder came and she was talking about, conditioning for things. And she's like, I'm just a workhorse. Why do I like to do that? I mean, it is kind of weird when you put it that way. I'm not exactly sure. I would say he likes outside.
Yeah.
He used to always be a runner. He ran track in college and played basketball. So he's just an athlete, I would say, in general. But he plays pickleball all the time and golfs. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not exactly sure. I never really asked him what it was that led him to. He just said he really wanted to do this with us.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, when he asked, I was like, heck yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I just said yes. And I'm not much of a researcher. I actually like the less information, the better. I know. He thinks it's so weird.
So, yeah, but you had to get like some so you knew what to expect. And
well, I had some,
right
but I
gear.
think even just in general, like, I don't know. I mean,
just dive in, just do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, okay, it's going to be 24 miles. It's going to be hard. Like, figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I can hear story after story, but then it just starts psyching me out. So I don't really want to hear your story.
Yeah.
I don't really want to read about it. I really just, how about I just go do it?
Yeah. I just want to be in good enough shape to go like pheasant hunting, deer hunting. Like that.
Yeah. So
like
you walk a lot doing that.
I do. But I don't know. I guess I've been fortunate enough to where my health has never been an issue.
Yeah.
And I'll get tired, but we can always justify that too. Like, I'm sure the dogs are really tired, so we better take a break.
So you blame it on the dogs.
Well, I mean,
that's code.
They got to take a break too.
You gotta take care of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember I was guiding a turkey hunt with these good old boys out of Alabama, and we had to get up a real steep incline. And I'm just trucking away, which I was still in my 30s and maybe late 20s at the time. And I'm just hiking right up this. And it was vertical. It was tough. And I knew it was, but I didn't show him like that I was sweating it at all. And then finally a guy just stops and starts glassing the river below. He's like, I don't really care to look down there. I just knew that my buddy needed a break, and he did. I'm like, well, I'm glad you guys stopped because
right.
I'll enjoy it. But
yeah,
so I don't know. It's one of those things where it's a balance. If I was trying to do something like that, I would be a little freaked out. Like I would want to get out and train and probably go on hikes,
Yeah.
just to be ready for it.
That was my thing. I think it was just more or less I knew the elevation was going to be a factor. So
Yeah.
if you train harder, or like our neighborhood, or in the neighborhood has tons of different hills, and out
Yeah,
here, and
it's
then we
hilly.
would go
Yeah.
hike at Fontenelle Forest. So just different things like that. I mean, you just try to put yourself in those conditions. You can't really mimic it. Like you
Yeah.
can't get
Well, the
8,000
scenery had to have been awesome. Tell me
elevation.
about that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's just different.
Yeah.
I get the same from people that we bring from Maryland or California. We bring them here. Like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I'm like, it's a hillside full of trees. But that's
Yeah.
just because we're conditioned to
Yeah.
it. You know?
Maybe that's it. Have you ever been to the Grand Canyon?
No.
Either of you?
Oh no.
When you were younger? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we the South Dakota trips and all that, which is I feel like very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've been to the 4 spots, where all 4 states come together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think I've been there.
No,
Think I
it's
got a
just
picture.
really, God, I don't know. I'm not great with describing things. It was just really spectacular. It's just something you can't even imagine. I mean, the waterfalls, to just the different terrains, just the huge boulders. I mean, you just can't even believe you're going through. I mean, they had to like plow some paths through rocks for the hike to be able to continue. So just, I don't know. I just loved it. It was awesome.
But it was.
Yeah.
What's
So,
you said it was 24 miles?
yeah,
So
close
it's 24
to.
miles. You have all those elevation changes, all that kind of stuff, and you've touched on it a little bit. But what does training look like to get ready for that?
Well, I think it was different for everyone, like,
Well, how about for you?
I mean, for me, I just slowly started working out, walking and running a good decent amount. I would say for 4 days ish. And then I went to the gym and just kept lifting and kept working out there twice a week. And so then 6 weeks leading up to when we were going to go, we started doing long walks and hikes on Saturdays. And we would put in anywhere from 18 to 20 miles. Just so your body's
Yeah.
used to it.
Yeah.
And some of them were just flat, like super flat. We didn't even like carry our poles. The other ones, we just hiked a ton of hills
Yeah.
and different trails. So again, I mean, you can Google anything. There were different things. My dad sent us different training schedules and whatever. But I mean, anyone's going to do,
Yeah.
again, like just with us 3 sisters, we all did something different. We all finished. I felt really strong at the end. Of course, tired. Could have kept going. Just super proud of myself.
Yeah.
I mean, so were
course.
my sisters. They're super
Yeah.
excited too, but I'm sure, maybe they wanted to change something, or even me, like I could have done something more,
Did you change your diet at all?
I mean, yes, in a sense of, I'm going through a few random things just diet wise anyways, just from some issues that health issues that I've had. So, but not me particularly, but my little sister, like I said, lost lots of weight, and my dad did
Yeah.
too. That's crazy. In 6 months or whatever. But I mean, I think that seems pretty healthy, 20 pounds, 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have a tough time losing 20 pounds. Like, I just don't have 20
You
pounds
ain't,
to
yeah,
lose.
you ain't got 20 pounds.
Andy,
you know?
you're a schmedium. Like
So-
you ain't losing
So-
any more weight.
But yeah, if anything, I'm always taking like the weight gainer stuff, when I get on a supplement or get on a health kick or whatever.
I was just gonna say, do you think when he gets to be our age, I always think he's not our age, he's gonna start gaining weight? Andy's our age,
Pretty
guys.
much our age, yeah.
I was told
When
that.
are you gonna get big, Andy?
I was told that a while ago. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna get a gut. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that." And I always thought to myself, "No, I'm not."
Maybe
you know
you're-
what I mean? Like,
Do you
no, I'm
not eat much?
I don't know. I feel like I eat it just as much as the next guy. I don't know. I just do like the bare minimum things. Like I don't try not to overeat. Even that is pretty tough because we always have really good ice cream in the freezer. I love ice cream. That's how I grew up. You
Yeah.
know. And Ozzy and Kimber now they can't go to bed yet. Treat time. Like just history repeating itself.
They need a treat every
Yeah.
night.
Oh yeah.
Did
Yeah.
we do that?
No,
I mean, I feel like we did some treats, but
I mean, we definitely didn't have like a nightly treat thing at all.
the kids like ice cream too.
Lucky you guys. But
Oh.
I mean that's
Well, the kids obviously keep you running and
yeah.
keep you active.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe when they're, because you got littles.
I'll tell you something that really helped me out was how active my father was growing up, and so like I would emulate that. I mean, he refereed basketball, he refereed football. He has this 25-year plaque for each, from the state, and he was a big outdoorsman like your father, and so like what you see is what you do, and
Yep.
And for whatever reasons, like when we would deer hunt, a lot of people just go to a spot and sit all day. And that's not how our dad would do it. Like, it was a chore. He would be hiking, he'd be running up and down, he'd be trying to push deer out of thickets, and so that's kind of how we approached it. And you can argue if it's the right way to do it or the wrong way, that's fine, whatever. But I'm just saying it was very taxing.
Okay.
So you had to be in shape, and if you weren't, you were going to get in shape for those 2 weekends, which that's interesting too, because that's a big weekend where everyone's getting together, drinking beer and eating jerky,
Right.
and then you throw that on top of it where it's a really, so I don't know. I think all those different little things coming together just kind of help me stay in shape.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
So back to your walk, what I call it, your walk in there.
My walk.
What did you have to take in with you?
Food wise?
I mean,
Everything. Yeah. Well, we had to start off with headlights, and it was 38 degrees, so we were pretty chilly. So we definitely were layered. Gloves, the backpack, and you have your bladder in there. And it was like 2.5 gallons of water. And they have water stations along the way, but you have to call the park ranger like the night before to see which ones they filled up, basically, or which ones are operating. And then all of our snacks. So, I mean, everyone took different stuff. Like I had jerky and
granola bars.
Yes,
and stuff?
granola,
Okay.
peanut butter, peanuts. I mean, all the things that I knew that I could eat. And then we had these, they're like salt electrolyte chews, basically, that help you stay hydrated or whatever. And those were clutch, like super clutch. Like I was handing them out like candy to people that were like, could not make it up the last 3.5 miles, because that was where you die, basically. The last 4 miles is killer.
What kind of an incline is that last?
I'm not exactly sure. I really don't know, but it's a bunch of switchbacks. So you do have that, but it's just, it does not stop. You feel like, how can we keep going?
Yeah.
And it just keeps going. And that's the slowest part. The absolute slowest, and you just want to get done so bad.
Did you take that those bison sticks?
Yeah,
So
those were good.
Dakota Pure
So
Bison.
good.
We've talked about
Yeah.
them here.
Everybody ate them because I ordered some, and then I gave them to everybody.
They sent us a bunch of stuff to try. We did it a while ago
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
podcast.
No, those are great.
Went through all those different flavors and stuff. Yeah, those things are awesome.
And
Yeah.
that's lean. That's a lean
It was
protein.
super
I think
good.
it'd be perfect for that.
So
and
I
the way
got-
those guys do it is there's no filler in it. Like it's not like pork and bison. It's straight up bison.
When you're dealing with an animal, basically a wild animal like that, you don't need that, because
Yeah.
that's the flavoring that all of our processed foods are trying to emulate. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like that's what's going on
Yeah.
with a lot of those powders and seasonings.
Yeah, so that was super good. Definitely had the jerky.
Nice.
Ate that.
Well, how much? Okay, so you had the 2.5 gallons of water. That's whatever that equals out to. That's heavy though.
Yeah.
And then like,
And then your backpack's pretty
How
heavy.
heavy was that? Because you had clothes and all these.
So we're
food.
probably carrying a good 15 pounds on your back, I would say. It depends on how much you had in there, But yeah, so it was, I don't think I needed to fill up till lunch, water-wise. I had a big Powerade too on the side of my pack, just in case. But yeah, I mean, I think, God, it's crazy when you see people, because they would be walking and they're doing the same thing as you. And we ran into this one lady, and they lived in Hawaii. Anyway, she didn't speak very good language. I'm not exactly sure what nationality she was, but she wanted to leave her group because they were taking so long. And these poor ladies literally had like school backpacks. I'm not kidding. Like one had like an embroidery name on it.
Ooh, like a Pokemon
Right.
one.
Like we're not talking like they should be trucking 24 miles. They
Yeah.
absolutely did way less research than me. She said that they had got off a bus and decided to do this hike.
Oh no.
Like, what?
I don't even think I could do it. I wouldn't even
just
feel
like
good about it.
Right now, just go
Yeah.
jump in there.
I don't,
So-
no
Probably
way.
not.
So this lady, you could tell, was super in shape. I mean, she was
Mm-hmm.
really had it together. She actually had the same kind of backpack as us. Didn't have great shoes, but was in like shape.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked if she could come walk with us because she knew that her friends were not going to make it out. And they had headlights, but she didn't. And so it was starting to get darker. So she hiked the last, I think, 3 with us. And I don't know how long she was going to be sitting at the end.
So you mentioned that like people get down there and then they can't get out, and even your dad's buddy, like, are there like burros or there little donkeys down there to take people out, or like what is are there rain like?
Yes.
Is there,
So we did pass some donkeys,
Mm-hmm.
but they were like holding people that paid on a trail.
are they
so-
pulling like little wagons?
No,
maybe we
but
could
they-
do that. Like,
I'd be down with that.
yeah,
I mean, they had packs on them. So supposedly to get anything down there, that's how they take everything down there is by mules or donkeys. But we did pass 2 rangers, and she did tell them to look for these, Asian women that looked like her, and they're not going to make it out. And actually, when we were done, it started getting really cold again.
Yeah.
So like we started, it was cold. It got close to 90 degrees and we're at the bottom. So we're like bloody hot, right? And
Yeah.
in the middle of the canyon, the hottest point, whoa, you hear that?
Big helicopter coming over.
yeah.
Watch out.
Well, we're
Looking
not,
for you.
not too far from Offutt Air Force Base.
Yeah.
So there's always something cooking.
Yeah. And so my sister gave her her headlight because she was going to have to wait at the end, and she hoped that she could get a ride back on the bus.
You guys sound like you were everyone's moms, giving out headlights, little electrolyte chews
We
to everybody.
were. It was just like this other one lady was really not in the best shape and just really hitting a wall. And I was like, you need these shoes, and just like dumping them in her hands.
I bet it'd be crazy to be a ranger out there. Like some of the stuff those guys see.
My God.
Oh, I bet. And so the crazy thing is we got dropped off by my dad's other friend, right? So he dropped us off on the north side, took 4 hours to drive.
I was going to say drive
to the
around
other
it.
side.
Wow.
Obviously he well beat us there. But this lady took a bus, got dropped off, and then was hoping to get on the bus again on the other side. But the last pickup was at 7. And I don't think they were going to make it out. So it's just interesting
Jeez.
to know, like, where did these 5 people sleep? Like,
God.
what? I
Yeah,
mean,
well, it was a low. Like, I mean, it was right around freezing. If you
Yes.
started the walk at 38
Yes.
degrees, that's probably about what the low was.
it was cold.
Yeah.
And we got done at like 6:45, and they were well behind us. They were not making a 7 o'clock
Yeah.
bus. So,
crazy.
at that point, it's like our car's already full. Like, we couldn't have hauled 5 women anyways,
Yeah.
but I don't know. So people do
Jeez.
come not prepared.
Yeah.
We were very much prepared, but you just have to remember what happened with my dad is he was so engulfed in like the scenery and looking around that he didn't really eat much along the path. And that ended up being bad because you have to keep eating.
Yeah. Well, that was,
Yeah.
Kim was talking about that
You
on
know.
the 50-mile march. Like,
Yeah,
you
she
need
did
to,
say that.
You need to have a donut, get those carbohydrates up.
I just remember
Yeah.
thinking, I am not even close to hungry, but I better eat. Just eat.
Right.
It
Just eat.
seems like that preparedness is just like a parallel for life. You've got so many people who, whatever the situation is, like they've thought about it, they've
Yeah.
run the scenarios down, they've got their stuff, that whatever. I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah.
And then you've got all these people that are just like blindly into
Oh,
stuff.
that looks neat.
And when
Right.
the shit really
I like
hits,
nature.
Yeah. When the shit really hits the fan, then it's
Yeah.
like, now all those people are like, oh my God, can the people who were prepared come save me?
Well,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Even the one woman that was prepared didn't even have a headlight though. Like, so she was
I
physically
know.
there, but her friends had all the gear. Like, what a weird mishmash.
I know, and
you
we passed them a couple times because, like, you can stop, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you pass the same people, and they're recognizable, especially from this backpack. It was definitely a little kid's backpack. It was just not something you would carry on a hike. Like, ours
Right.
have clips, and it's on
Yeah.
sitting on your hips. I mean, it's just like legit a
Yeah.
hiking backpack.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them just had shoes, and I thought, oh my gosh, you're hiking in those. Like, what are your feet going to be like? So I feel like I came in like in the middle range of being prepared, you know, enough to know,
Yeah.
but definitely not where they were at.
Yeah.
Like, that was extreme. So
So what would you, now that it's all done and you went through the whole process and everything, is there anything that you would change as far as, you know, how you prepped for it, or anything that you brought in with you, or anything like that?
I mean, I think I could have maybe ran or walked a little bit more. I honestly, I don't want to sound cocky here, but I felt like at the end, I think when I called you two, I was like, oh my God, I feel so good. Like, I just,
Nice.
I
The way you
got
should have
this.
felt, right?
Like, yeah, like
how
I
you
am
wanted to.
tired, but
Yep.
nothing was killing my calves. I would work out my calves more for some reason. There, when we went down, you go down 14 miles.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a lot of weight. A lot of people's knees were hurting.
Oh, I bet.
My knees were not hurting, but for some reason my calves were just really starting to get kind of tight. I wouldn't say crampy, but I could feel it.
That's a different style of walking too. You know, when,
I mean,
when
it's-
you're walking
yeah.
down, you know, the incline.
Like,
Yeah.
at some points we kind of had to turn. There were so many big step downs off of boulders and different things that you kind of had to turn to the side and step to the side rather than just go straight down. I mean, we're talking big steps.
Sounds legit.
And this is in the dark,
No.
you know? So I think poles were super clutch. At times we had pictures and we're like walking just flat and you use them and you're like, you don't really need them. But when you're going up or going down, they were really helpful. So I don't know necessarily if I would change too much. I feel like I trained in my clothes that I was going to wear. I think that was smart because then you know what's going to chafe, what's not, you know, all the
Yeah.
things. Like
Yeah, yeah.
the exact same socks. You're wearing those shoes. You're wearing those pants. I figured out a couple different sports bras weren't great and found one, you know, just like all the things that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't really think about. But in my head, I just thought, I'm going to be in this for
yeah.
12 plus hours. I've got to know it's going to work. So on those
And be
long
comfortable.
walks. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. But this is like the most talking I've ever done. I don't know if I like just talking.
It's interesting,
I like
like,
it when you guys talk.
It's interesting. Like you know, it
You don't
sounds
want to go do it? Because I
it's-
want to do it again.
It sounds fun, and I bet I would really enjoy it. It probably falls into that category, Ben, where I'll do it once, and I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
You know, but that was enough.
And never again.
Well, and I don't want to say never again, but okay, maybe move the target or do something a little different. You
Ben,
know,
I think
don't
you
know.
could totally even do this.
I mean, I would, like Andy was saying, I would definitely have to train. Like, I couldn't, like, right now just jump in and go do that. I mean, I wouldn't be comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I know if I decided I wanted to do it, I could.
Yeah.
And I think it would be cool, like, you know, the outdoor stuff and the scenery and those kinds of things. I would like that. You know, seeing the river and all the stuff and how all that
Yeah.
works down
It
there.
is really cool.
But you know, as far as like the physical challenge and that, it for me, that doesn't like do a whole lot for me. Where like it does for you.
Yeah.
You want that challenge. You want that physical thing. Like, oh, I beat this. You know, I'm done. You know,
Yeah.
I got you. Whatever.
Yeah.
For me, it would be like, yeah, no, that'd be cool. Like it'd be neat to say like I did it and everything. But I'd
Yeah.
be more about kind of the outdoor side of it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I something that we're kind of gearing up for, and I want to do it, and I got to get with Garrett, you know, my hunting guy. We have a lot of sharp-tailed grouse up around Lynch, and they are hard to get to. Like, you either step on them in the morning and they scare the hell out of you, you know, get into your deer stand, or they flush out within a quarter mile. You know, like you're just way off in the distance. You just step foot in the pasture and they're gone. Now that I got my dog back, I want to walk, and you're gonna have to walk a long ways, but it's in beautiful country. It's over top the Niobrara River, beautiful rolling hills, you know, native prairie grasses, all that stuff. But it's going to be a challenge, you know, to actually seal the deal. It's going to be I don't even know how many miles I'm going to have to walk.
That's what I was just going to say.
You know, to get this done. But I bet if I walk 10 to 12 miles, hopefully get a couple opportunities, a couple of shots. And then you kind of pair that with your reward is, you know, taking your dog out, being part of that, the experience. But then if you are fortunate enough to get a sharp tail, you know, there's things that go along with that too.
Right.
On the cake, yeah.
You know.
Do you think, like, you know, we watch the Meat Eater, or the shows, like, do you think these big guys that hunt a lot actually train?
Oh yeah. Big time. They have to.
Okay. Because to me, that seems like they're just hiking up.
I mean, a lot of those hunts those guys are doing, they gotta hike in with all of the stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And then, number one, they're going to be hunting, but number two, it's so far in that they have to stay in there.
And be healthy and have all that stuff.
Be all prepared for that. And then if they get an animal, now you've got hundreds and hundreds of pounds
to carry out.
Miles and miles and miles. You know?
Shoot, I didn't even think about that with an animal.
And like those elk hunting guys, you know, there's a lot of times where, I mean, you're up there in the elements. So now a storm rolls in that wasn't on the forecast. So now you got to figure out, you got to hurry up, throw up a tent, grab a bunch of wood, figure out a fire, all those things, you know. So, you know, you talk about being prepared. They got to be prepared for like all these different scenarios. A bear. What happens if a bear attacks your camp? You know, like all these crazy things. And that's, sharp-tailed grouse is probably more of my speed.
That'd be cool, though. I'd
love
fun,
it. Yeah. But once again, maybe taking a rifle along rather than a bow. I don't know if I'm that extreme yet. You know?
Okay.
A bow for grouse?
No. Well, people do that now.
They do?
Yeah. It's crazy, those dudes.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm saying, like, those guys that are bow hunting moose and elk, it's like, man, it's already hard enough.
Right.
I just take my old thunder stick and get her done.
Get it done. Yeah.
So I guess to kind of close it out, what do you think about all of it? Like, what's your plan now?
I don't know. I mean, my plan is I want to do it again. I want to do it quick. Like, because, I mean, when I had my watch on before it died, at the highest, my heart rate was at 130. And when I work out hard, it's like at 165. So I know I wasn't even like,
you weren't
I
even
was
pushing
like slowing it down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like to keep up.
Wow.
So I would like to really push it. And I know you're like, why don't you do something else? I don't know. Like, it'd just be fun to be able to do this again and quicker. But then I really would like to do that 50-mile march. I mean, 50 miles.
Yeah.
Yes, that's flat, like from Lincoln, Nebraska to Omaha.
That last
but it's
little
50
stretch
miles. Yeah.
Up that hill.
Yeah.
And they're
So-
they're spending a whole day on that.
Yeah, it's like 19 hours. I know.
Yeah.
Some of the video I was watching,
Oh.
I was like, oh, those people walk slow. Like, I'm fast. Like, I'm a fast person. I do things fast. I just like, do. Like,
Get her
I'm
done.
really quick. So, and they all stay together. So that might be a challenge for me to just be like, do. Like, we're just strolling here. But I like to move. I don't know.
Would we be able
And
to hang
Ben's
in
like
there if we tried to do the rim to rim and just let her go? Would we be able to hang
No.
in? No.
No.
Just
He's
go.
like a turtle.
Go.
Yeah.
And I'm like
Yeah.
the hare. He's just slow.
Yeah, we'll get on the side by
but
sides
slow
and drive
and
around,
steady.
do some
I'd be
sightseeing.
fine with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't know. There's
We'll do the
just-
4-hour drive around, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
game.
exactly. Yeah.
So you'll be the Uber driver?
Yeah, we'll kick Ashley out with you. You guys do the rim to rim.
Yeah, she
you
would
know?
probably do that.
Oh, she'd love it.
We'll bring a cooler and sit on the other end.
Yep. Yeah, I think we got a plan.
All right. Well, I'm game.
See what's
Well,
going on.
Yeah, it was
Thanks,
a
guys, for asking me about it. My
was a-
little walk.
big challenge.
Awesome.
You spent a lot of time preparing for it.
I
mean, months
did.
and months. Getting up 4 a.m., whatever, going and walking
Yeah.
15 miles. And I was like, hey, whatever. Like, I know she wants to do it, so
Yeah.
go do it, and you saw it through. So
Yeah. Well, thanks for supporting me, honey.
oh yeah, the family, the kids, myself, we're all proud of you. It was a challenge that you took on and beat it.
Yeah.
So
Did.
yep.
Yep. So we'll see what the next one is. I like working out towards something.
Yeah, having
Like
a
if
goal.
I'm just like
yeah.
working out, okay, great. But like, what am I working out for?
Right.
Like-
So anybody who might have any kind of interest in that or whatever,
Yeah, reach out.
could shoot you an email, ask you questions. We talk about my email address all the time, ben@farmfocused, FOCUSED.com. Same for you, Morgan, at farmfocused.com. So if they had any questions directly for you.
Yeah.
And as always, we need people to get on there, do the subscribing, do the reviews, hit that stuff up, let us know. We'll send you some free gear. We need to build that a little bit. So
Yeah.
so get motivated, get on there and do it.
Yeah, and those short videos, they just show clips on YouTube.
Yep.
Just ask questions in the comments and we'll get back.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The
It's
YouTube
an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
YouTube thing's building up. We're gonna be putting more and more content on there, so that's gonna be cool for folks too to kind of have that avenue. So
Is that the goal for 2024 is to ramp it up?
Oh yeah, we're gonna be ramping it up.
everything's always ramping up.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
All right.
All
so
right, well, that's
anything else?
it. I
Yeah.
think that's it. No, I just wanted to, well, yeah, okay, hold on. I wanted to ask Andy about your dog. So you said it quick. You got your dog back
Yes.
and you're going to do, and you went on a hunt.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Jordan, who we had on the show,
Yeah.
he was his main trainer, and he got to bring his dog Gus out. So that was really cool. That on Kylo's first hunt, it was me and his trainer and his dog Gus.
So did you listen to you or the trainer?
He listened to the trainers, and I wanted it that way because I didn't want to get in the way.
Oh,
You
so
know.
you didn't even really do much. You were kind of just.
Not really. He brought a few retrieves back to me, but Kylo was awesome. He's a yellow lab, and he pointed. He came to a couple of really good points. He did some really good flushes, and he retrieved all of them.
Gotcha.
And at the end of the day, between Jordan and I, we had 13 pheasants.
Dang.
Wow,
so that's
that's cool.
successful.
It was really good.
Huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And
so
it
you're
was-
going to go on your own without Jordan soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Planning on it this weekend. So, and that's,
Okay.
you're talking about motivation and having a goal, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun that, well, now I have to go on these hunts because, we already invested all this time into
Mm-hmm.
Kylo and he loves to do it. And, and then you get the payoff of dinner,
Heck yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
You sent me a picture of what you guys were cooking. It looked good.
Yeah. Yeah. We posted a from field to table post on our Facebook page. It got a lot of traction. And, yeah, it looks good and it was good.
Was
Yeah.
it?
So.
Yay. Cool.
Cool.
All right,
So
that's
should
it.
Should I try number
Try it
two?
again,
Try
yeah.
number 2 to close
Yeah.
this down.
I might just keep talking.
Are we done?
let's wrap it up.
Okay. All right. Closing it out.
Peace.
Later.
So